What's up, everybody? My name's Roger, aka RGB. Bringing you today my new podcast, the Pitch Puff, the Pitch Putt and Puff Tour podcast. It's about a league we have on Sunday mornings at Freer Park Golf Course, located in Troy, New York. Beautiful course. Just went through recent renovations. Put about $3 million into the course. Some major upgrades, some new bunkers, new fairways, some nice flat tee boxes. Some fixed greens, every improvement possible, a whole new drainage system, cart paths. There's cart paths out there. Some people don't think there's a reason to have cart paths on a golf course, but that's a conversation for a different day. So this league is it's 8 to 10 guys, sometimes 12. We get a mixed group, bunch of different players. We have guys who started playing a few years ago. We got guys who've been playing for 20 years. Real mixed up match of guys. Different skill levels. Definitely some different skill levels. Everybody brings something different to the table. It's really a great time. We put a little money on there. Play our round. At the end of the round, we pick a random draw out of a hat. Go down each side, and then at the end, we pair up the teams, and from that point, the lowest score wins. It's been something we've been doing for about a year now. We had a couple weeks in so far. Course is in amazing shape. It really is. Josh, the guy who runs the course, definitely takes great care of us, hooking us up with a Sunday morning primetime tee time. Shout out to Josh. So let me get into the guys and give you a little rundown of who we got in the league. I'll start out with my man Hank the Shank. Hank is he's one of our older guys in the league. Great guy. We played with him in a league on Friday. It's where we met him. He was JR's landlord for a little while. JR is one of the players in the league I'll get to shortly. One of the most consistent guys we got in the league. Consistently scoring in the mid 80s. Putting lights out right off rip. Always got the flat stick working. The thing with Hank, though, you always got to follow behind Hank, because there's times where he might leave a putter, he might leave a driver behind, he might hit a tee shot, forget where it went, he might hit a tee shot, go back to the cart, let everybody hit theirs, and go out there and hit another one. That's what Hank does. But great guy, awesome guy to have in the league, really good, gels with everybody. No complaints about Hank at all. He's one of the guys that when he's in your group, you know you're going to have a good time. Next guy up we got is Steve, a.k.a. Chip, a.k.a. Smokey. Steve's been playing golf for quite a while, I believe, since he was a kid, football, baseball player growing up. He hits the shit out of the ball. Big fella. He's about 6'6" or so. Head up in the clouds, usually smoked out. By the second or third hole, after the first joint, pretty much donezo. Hats turned sideways, listening to hip hop, thinking he's almost like Malibu's Most Wanted out there. Great guy, fun to have on the course. Comes up with some of the funniest comments you'll ever hear. A little too early in the podcast. Don't want to get canceled right off rip to get into those. But yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff with Steve. When we have him on, I'll ask him about some of those comments and where the hell they come from. Steve hits the shit out of the ball, gets a little frustrated on the green sometimes. Now, the greens are Freer Park. I always tell people when they play there, the course is pretty easy course until you get to the greens. It might look like it's breaking left. You putt it, all of a sudden the ball's going right. Some of the toughest greens to read, especially the third hole, and that's Steve's nemesis right there. I've seen him put up birdies. I've seen him put up 9s, 10s, It's one of those holes that's a mental thing for Steve. Speaking of mental, let's bring on my man Bub. Bub is probably the biggest mental case we have in the league. Hell of a golfer if he keeps his shit together. But when he doesn't, the wheels fall off. Never his fault, though. It's because the wind's blowing left, the wind's blowing right. Someone was talking. I gave him a tip. I told him the wrong club to use. But he's the guy pulling the club out of the bag. I'm just giving he asked a question, I'm giving him an answer, as a good friend would. Bub chips the hell out of the ball. One of the best, probably the best chipper we have in the league in the short game. Always sticking it within, 8 to 10 feet. Problem is when he gets up there for that 8 to 10 foot putt, the kid literally misses by an inch or two every single time. Half inch, I'll give him every single time. If he makes those putts, he's a consistent mid 80 to low 80 golfer and breaking into the 70s ever so often. He thinks he's better than me, but the handicaps say otherwise. We'll talk about that when we get him on the pod here. Next guy up is my man, Fairway Mike. Fairway Mike is the most dedicated golfer we have in the league by far. Mike is out there every single day, rain or shine. If the sun's out in January, you can find Mike at the 6th hole of Freer Park where there's little access, and he's working on his approach shot. He's working on the bump and run. Mike is one of the most fun guys to play golf with. I probably get out with Mike minimum 2-3 times a week. He's a retired fella, so it's nice to get out there and have someone to play with that's consistently out there and always fun to play with. Mike, no complaints about Mike. This guy literally shows up every single day, no matter what, is out there to have a good time. Never talks bad about anybody, and if he does, he's going to say it right the fuck to you. That's the type of guy he is, one of those South Troy bred fellas right there. He's hitting from the yellows this year. Guy's 70 years old. It's about time, and it is a huge improvement for him. He has been one of the low scorers every round that I've been out there with him, scoring better. The guy hits a bump and run better than anybody I've ever seen. I don't have the confidence to take that shot, but he does it damn near to perfection. Mike's usually scoring now that he's in the yellows. He's been shooting right in those low 80s, low 80 rounds. Going to be a problem for some fellas, our lower scorers, because he's going to be competing with you now, shooting in the low 80s. Next we got up is Coach Aaron. Aaron never seen a swing he can't fix. My man has probably the most knowledge about the game of golf. He's going to tell you if you want to hear it or not. Aaron is a really good golfer. He plays quite a bit. He's out there with me and Mike probably 2-3 times a week as well. If he's not out with us, he's playing with his sons, which is really cool. High school kids, and they love the game, and he gets them out there. His one son getting off the school bus with his golf clubs in the truck and ready to go. It's pretty cool to see. Aaron, real consistent golfer. Hits the ball real well. Chip putt. He probably is. He's definitely one of our top 3-4 guys we got going in the league. Right up there with JR and Steve. And then, like I said, I think Fairway Mike's going to be a problem now that he is playing from the senior tees. Aaron's out there usually having a good time. Never a conversation he doesn't want to have. If he sees something in your swing, he's going to tell you. Some guys love it, some guys hate it. Good dude, means well. Just trying to help the guys out, make them better because like I said, Coach has the most knowledge in the league for sure. Next guy's up, JR, a.k.a. Slapshot. JR has been coming off a hockey season. Definitely something with the guys, coming from baseball, hockey, and then rolling over to golf is definitely going to mess with your swing a little bit. But Jay missed last week. We've been out 2 weeks so far in the year. We got rained out on one of them. The course has only been open for 3 weeks. But Jay hits the shit out of the ball. Definitely hits the shit out of the ball. Real good short game. Real confident with the putter. He's a problem out there, scoring in the low 80s, high 70s consistently. Everybody has a bad round here and there. If I beat him, I definitely let him know about it. It doesn't happen often at all. I think maybe once or twice ever, so I definitely talk shit when I do. Jay's probably our top guy in the league, like I said, up there with Aaron, Steve, and the problem to be Fairway Mike. Kev, next guy up's Kev. Kev's one of Aaron's buddies. Just met Kev last year. Real good dude. Always in a good mood. Never seen him have a bad day. Comes out, like I said, he's consistent. He's shooting in the high 80s, low 90s. Pretty much the mix of the guys are in that range, so it makes it real interesting when it comes time to pull names out of the hat. As long as the top, and it's completely random, so if everybody just pass the hat around, everybody picks a name. Every once in a while, I'll end up 2 low-scoring guys. It could be Steve, Aaron, JR, Aaron. But for the most part, everybody gets to dip their hand in the pot once or twice throughout the year. Kev was hitting the shit out of the ball. I played with him once so far this year. He's hitting the ball real well. Cranking the driver right down the middle, 250 out or so. Takes his time, looks at his shot, makes sure he's got the right club and wants to know what he's doing. gets it out there, and he's I think he's going to be our most improved guy this year. That's my prediction for the season. I think Kev's really gonna grip it and rip it this year, getting out there a lot more consistent, especially now that he's more comfortable with the guys, knowing guys, bullshitting with guys. You know, going out and playing with strangers sometimes can be a little awkward and all that, but now he's got a full season under his legs with this group of guys. I think it's going to be a big improvement for him. Last guy I got to talk about is my man Brad. Brad I've known for years, South Troy Pop Warner days back to 92. Just aging myself there. But Brad, haven't seen him yet this year. He had a couple outings, pre-planned outings. He actually sacrificed for us the first week. I had 12 guys, could only lock in 2 tee times on the opening weekend. So he sat back and went and played with some buddies up at another local course. Brad's a good dude, hits the shit out of the ball right in the middle of the pack with everybody else. Scoring in the mid-80s, low 90s. So like I said, it makes it real interesting when we pull names out of this hat. Sooner or later, I'm going to try to get most of these guys on here to have a conversation and get more of a background and let you guys get to know them, do a YouTube page, get some clips out of our outings, maybe even venture to some other courses and see what happens. But, honestly, I don't know about doing that because of how well we're taken care of at Freer Park. Guy really looks out for us, always hooking me up with tee times. I'm literally there 5 out of the 7 days a week minimum. I just started playing about 5-6 years ago. Caught the bug right away. Always a sports guy, football, baseball, basketball. Getting a little older, so I couldn't keep up with those other sports. So I had to find something to get a little competitive in. And once I got out there and I wasn't good, it definitely made me want to play more and more. I'm the type of guy, if I'm hitting the driver well, I'm not chipping well. If I'm chipping and putting great, the driver's in the woods. Lost ball here, lost ball there, scuff mark from the cart path. No, sorry about the cart path thing, Steve. This guy, Steve, doesn't believe there should be cart paths on a golf course. Buddy, what are you talking about here? Steve, you're going to really have to explain that when I get you on the pot. But back to myself here. Putter, I've been putting pretty well the last few rounds out. Driver's getting a little more consistent. Got some kind of hook. I used to slice the shit out of the ball. Now I'm hooking it. I don't know. I'll have to go to Coach Aaron for some tips. He was helping me out the other day, fixed a couple things. Fairway Mike gave me a tip, fucked me all up. But it's a mental game. It's a mental game, is what Aaron said the other day. It's the 6 inches. The 6 inches between your ears really fuck you up in this game. Pretty good quote right there. But yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy getting this thing rolling, getting the guys out here. The Pitch Putt and Puff tour. We're out there, we're pitching, we're chipping, we're putting, and we're puffing. Some of the best green in upstate New York, boys. That's how we roll. Once again, thank everybody for taking a minute and listening. We'll be back on soon. Thanks.